Hello and welcome to Game of Thrones chat. I am Power T, and today I'm here with my good friend.
Fan of history!
Yes.
Welcome. This is episode 6 of season 4, The Laws of Gods and Men.
Yes, that's the episode.
So, how did you like it?
Oh, I thought it was a great episode. How about you?
I liked especially the fact that we had a long sequence and we didn't jump around as we usually do in an episode. So I did like, I got really immersed in the trial.
Yeah, because you have fewer storylines here. And this is what you get when you keep killing people off. Eventually you're going to have only so few storylines. There's a few more than this though, but
maybe that's the point. Maybe it's like one storyline at the end because everyone else is dead.
Exactly. And then there will be no storyline because the last person in Westeros dies.
Yeah.
Maybe that's how it ends. We'll see what happens.
Everybody dies.
Yeah, but still there's lots of people though. Still lots of people to kill off yet. And I mean the episode was great. I felt that it started off slow, but it was still interesting, and we got to see Bravos for the first time.
Oh, Bravos was amazing.
Yeah, especially that big Statue of Liberty guy, or well, it was actually the Titan of Bravos.
Yeah. That
you have to sail under. And they actually have a little bit of a fortress thing there in the Titan, so they can pour down hot oil and stuff on people sailing through.
Coming out of the Titan's groin. No.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Yes, so it's not just for show, it's also as a defense measure.
Why was the sword broken?
It's probably just really old, I think. I don't have the backstory for that, sorry.
Okay. I love the bank, the sort of feeling of this institution.
Yeah, and you have to love them making Stannis wait for 4 hours or something.
Yes.
Getting really impatient, and then really I love. So Stannis asks for a loan and he's immediately rebuffed, and then Stannis then Davos really speaks up for him, and for the first time we get to see his hand, his stumped hand with missing those knuckles.
Yeah.
So I really felt that he spoke strongly and effectively, but it seems like they still don't get a loan from them. That's what the feeling I got anyway.
But all the money he showed to Salvador.
Oh yeah, that's right. So they did get money. So they did get money after.
I think they did.
Yeah, that's right. They
did
get money, but how much? But probably not as much as they wanted. That's right. They did
it seemed like they had like a chest of gold for Salvador, and
so I take that back. They did get lots of money, but I didn't understand why they. So he spoke well, but still.
They said that Tywin Lannister is going to die, and then nobody can lead Westeros except Stannis. So you have to sponsor Stannis to get back your 6 million.
Okay. Yeah.
Seems like a very weird decision making for a bank.
Yes, absolutely.
Like everybody always repays us. These guys they're known for repaying their debt.
Yeah, there's like no credit history with these other guys really.
Oh.
So that's why I assumed that they wouldn't give. I just assumed that they would get any money.
It seems that he has lost the Stormlands though, because he only has 4,000 people. They're all at Dragonstone.
Yes, exactly. They have Dragonstone, the islands around Dragonstone. And some people from Stormlands, but most of the people not.
Yeah.
So they're really down to 4,000 men and 33 ships.
So who is ruling the Stormlands?
Well, Tommen, first of his name.
Yeah.
He's ruling the Stormlands then, because he is King Robert's son.
But shouldn't somebody be in the Stormlands, telling people what to do?
Yes, well, someone should be in Storm's End then, telling people what to do. So they have probably put somebody there. Renly used to be the Castellan of Storm's End.
Yeah.
But now but he's dead obviously, and so they have somebody else there probably in Storm's End just telling people what to do.
Alright.
Yeah, so now he gets money and then he contacts the pirate, Salvador San. So now he has ships at least.
Did Salvador San lose 30 ships in the Battle of Blackwater?
I don't remember the exact number, but he did lose a lot of ships.
But he just has new ships.
Yes, I guess so. And maybe he can buy new ships with the money that he gets from Davos and Stannis. So that's probably going to happen. But then they need men also, so they need to hire the Golden Company or some other company.
How many companies of mercenaries are there in Bravos?
I don't know, and they need like thousands. So it's I don't even know where the Golden Company is located. They probably travel around, I think.
Yeah.
So they probably have to travel somewhere to get it, or maybe they're lucky. Maybe the Golden Company is in Bravos, or Most
The
mercenary
second
bands.
sons obviously are not.
Yeah, exactly. They are in Marine, and many of these companies they travel around. They're not like just stationary in one place.
Yeah.
Because they go wherever the fighting is basically, and then they move on most of the time. Except for the second sons, then who's staying in Marine.
Yeah.
With Dany and her dragons.
Yeah, let's talk about that. So Drogon decides to eat a sheep and maybe burns and eats one sheep.
Yeah, that's what we see. But the farmers, the sheep herder, he said that he burnt everybody or all the sheep.
Okay, so how come this is the first time this happens? Aren't the dragons like eating every day?
Well, before she was feeding them, and before they were small, and you saw them eating fish at the beginning of season 3. But before Dany was keeping a closer rein on them. But now they're more and more on their own. Like, I don't know, teenagers going out too late in the evenings and...
Seems like it's interesting that this is the first case of problems, because I think they should have been causing problems much earlier.
Mm-hmm.
And look at the size of him, he's grown again.
Yes. Well, I don't know if he's grown from early this season, but definitely from last season.
Yeah.
Or maybe, it's hard to tell always, because they're flying around and...
Yeah.
But he's definitely big enough to kill lots of people or he'll a herd of sheep,
Yes.
at least. But they were big enough for that last season also, when they burnt down Astapor basically.
Yes.
But not in one fell swoop. They had to burn a lot, but well.
You get the sense that they are reluctant to show the dragons now, that they are too expensive to do the CGI.
I don't know if it's a CGI thing or if it's just that they feel that they have to keep it back because they don't want to show off too much too early. Because
they have all these great views of Marine, and it's like, where are the dragons?
Oh yeah, the Marine view is awesome with all the pyramids there.
Yes.
It's like every great family in Marine has their own pyramid, and she of course just grabs the biggest one and sits down there.
Yeah.
And Dany does.
Is it a temple?
No, it's more like a place to live actually. More like a palace.
Okay. Seems inconvenient to have a palace in the shape of a pyramid.
Yeah, but it looks great.
It does. It's enormous. It's
from above, it looks great.
Yeah. And you get high up, so people have to climb and feel.
Yeah.
But I think Dany needs to learn something about administration, right? Like, everybody can talk to me personally.
Yeah. Yeah, she has to talk to 212 people. Well, that's kind of the way it worked back then.
And pour your
yeah, they have to stand there for 212 people. At least you get to sit. That works in a small community, in like a small city-state maybe, but in a great city-state like Marine with hundreds of thousands of people, someone said that it was twice as big as King's Landing, and King's Landing is described as having 500,000. If Marine has 1 million people, and she has to fix every little problem in all of Marine, she's gonna be exhausted. It is
ancient Rome, pretty much.
Size. But ancient Rome, except that they don't have the vast lands. I mean, they control some of the lands around them, but not nearly as much as Rome did. I mean, Rome had this whole Mediterranean empire.
Makes you wonder how Marine supports its population.
Yeah, it's the 1 million. It doesn't seem reasonable. It seems it's too much. Even if you have grain shipping in and you have the river, you have a river right next to it, and you have all these farmlands and goat herders and whatever. It's so much in a pre-industrialized environment. So let's say it's smaller. Let's say it's 500,000 or something.
Yeah.
It just doesn't make sense to have a whole million, I think.
And she has some tricky questions to answer there.
Yeah, it's. I mean, it's easy to crucify 163 people you never met.
Yeah.
But then when you meet them or meet their children, it's a different story, really, isn't it?
Makes you wonder how the 163 people were selected.
Yeah, apparently they probably just grabbed people with nice clothes, or maybe they asked the slaves to bring forward their masters. And this guy was a master. He was probably one of the masters. Okay, so his son says that, oh, my father spoke against the crucifixions, but still he was one of the city fathers.
Yeah, the slaves probably wouldn't know that, because he spoke against it in some sort of council where they weren't attending.
Yeah, exactly. Why would the slaves attend the city council? Yeah. So they just grabs the richest people they can find, probably.
I like that sort of moral question. That
Yeah, exactly. It's people they're killing. I mean, there's somebody's father or husband or.
You could almost feel Danny going, "Oh shit."
Yeah. So let's see what.
Everybody.
So then there was 212 other people who wants to talk to him about the other 162 people and plus 50 other issues as well.
Yeah. So now she's set a precedent. Now everybody will want to bury their relatives.
She should really said that. Okay, everybody who comes to me to talk about that, go ahead.
Yeah.
Otherwise, she'll have to speak to people for weeks about.
But she definitely needs to delegate power.
Yeah, absolutely. She needs to. But I mean, all her power comes from her and from her strength and from her dragons. And who should delegate to Jorah or Barristan then? Or?
She definitely needs to build an administration machine.
Yeah, exactly. Because Jorah and Barristan, they're warriors. Jorah did have some experience administrating Bear Island.
Yeah.
But that's not the same as Marine by a long shot. And Barristan is just a soldier.
Yeah.
So neither one of them really. I mean, if anybody, Jorah is probably more suited because at least he's trained for some administrative duties.
Daario Naharis can obviously control 2,000.
Yeah, exactly. But is it the same skill to control 2,000 mercenaries as hundreds of thousands of civilians?
Probably not.
Probably like the opposite.
Yeah.
So it's probably even worse. And the Unsullied, they are even worse than that. I mean, they have no social skills at all, supposedly.
Yeah.
All the Grey Worm seems to be charming Missandei, but
Yeah.
we don't know what's going on there and with that stuff. But you're right, she needs to create some kind of council. Maybe a council. And so from the slaves then, or from the slavers, or a mix, or.
Interesting questions.
Yeah, and I mean, she has to figure out something eventually, or she's going to live in Marine the rest of her life, or.
I think this highlights your earlier point then that George R. R. Martin thinks about administration questions and economy and infrastructure.
Exactly. George R. R. Martin, when he watches the ending of the Lord of the Rings, he's like, oh, so the king is now Aragorn is king and he's going to live happily ever after. Well, what are his tax policies and stuff like that? What if two lords fight about the same parcel of land? How does this solve that?
Yeah.
Just living happy. Just because you're good doesn't mean that everything is going to be fine and dandy in your kingdom forever and ever.
Very true.
Yeah.
So next we talk about the Dreadfort.
Yes, so at Dreadfort and Yara, she promised last season that she would save her brother, and now in episode 6 she finally gets there. It is very far away though.
Yeah, with the 50 worst killers.
Exactly, and she probably had to travel all the way from the Iron Islands up there and around, and then all the way up to the Dreadfort, and then go by those long ships by the river up here into the Dreadfort. And they have long ships like Viking ships.
Yes.
So they are suitable to go up the river also, if they want to do that. And there she finds Theon not really really wants to be rescued. He's really broken.
Very much so.
He's Reek now. He's not Theon anymore. He's Reek.
Yeah.
How did you feel about this scene?
I think that the way you describe it, how badly he is, he's in a very bad condition physically in the books.
Yeah.
And that sort of makes everything more believable. For now it looks really like, oh, somebody tried to make me dirty for 5 minutes, but I'm I'm really good.
Yeah, in the books he's a lot worse, and he looks like an old man.
Yeah.
He has grey hair and lots of teeth falling out and fingers chopped off, and he's even more broke. It's more believable, I guess.
I heard the actor saying that it would be this season was a great acting challenge for the role of Theon Greyjoy, but I think he would have needed physical help.
Yeah, somebody should have broken him.
Yes, he should have been broke.
Yeah.
Makes you wonder also if the Bastard of Bolton does this regularly.
Yeah, I think that he's done it before, and he really likes it.
Maybe it's a Bolton family tradition too. Either you flay them or you break them.
Well, the Flayed Man is their sigil.
Yeah.
That's their banner. They've been flaying people for thousands of years, and So they really like flaying people. And you remember Bolton in like back in season 1, it's like a naked man has few secrets, a flayed man has none. So he thinks that flaying is really good for the war effort.
Yes.
But for me, this scene where so Yara comes in there and they have this whole fight in the kennel because that's where they're keeping Reek, and then it looks like the bastard looks like Ramsay Bolton is releasing the hounds there or something, or he's
they're like 5 meters from Yara, and then suddenly Yara is out.
And then did she outrun the dogs, or did she kill the dogs and then leave without Reek, Theon, or?
I felt like she left immediately when he threatened to release the dogs, and then he didn't. Or something like that.
Oh, out of mercy? Otherwise,
maybe he had the wrong key or something. I'm gonna release the dogs, you better run. And she was.
That doesn't make any sense. That doesn't make any sense. Is that how you interpret that scene?
I don't know. It's like it was a very weird cut from.
Yeah.
Like, now the dogs are gonna get you, and then the dogs didn't.
Well, if she kills the dogs and kills Ramsay, she's gonna grab Reek and go along and bring him along.
Yeah.
And if Ramsay kills Yara, she's not gonna be back at the boat going away. Either one of them is gonna die.
Yes.
But they both survive.
Yes.
And this doesn't make any sense.
No, that was very strange.
So what does this tell you about this scene? It tells you that.
It almost felt cut.
It felt like this scene was invented by the showrunners.
Of course.
It was added because they wanted Yara and Ramsay to collide or something, or they wanted to show that Theon is really broken, or I'm not sure exactly what. You can read in a lot of different things, but it didn't make any sense, and that's really disappointing that when they add scenes, they make less sense than the rest of the scenes.
Yeah. I didn't feel like the 50th worst killers on the Iron Islands either. They felt like pretty wimpy when Ramsay could kill them without any armor or. Yeah,
exactly. He has no armor and just start killing them, and he's not a trained warrior either. He grew up as a miller. As his mother was a miller, or his father was a miller actually, but. He was not castle trained.
He looked like Hercules in that scene.
Yeah, exactly. But he's described as not having very much skill in the books.
So shouldn't Yara be able to kill him easily?
I guess she brought the 50 worst pickpockets or.
Took the wrong criminals. 50 worst tax evaders.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, don't. Yeah, a little mistake can have great consequences there.
So what happened in the books?
In the books, this scene isn't even there.
So she never goes.
She does. She never goes to. She never goes to the Dreadfort. It's very Just forget the whole thing, really.
Yeah, but that explains this enormous sea voyage. So she doesn't have to be Columbus.
Or Magellan or something. Yeah. So. Forget about that whole scene, okay?
Forget about that scene.
Forget about that scene. Let's go on to something more interesting then.
That Reek is supposed to be acting like Theon Greyjoy.
Yes.
That's very meta.
I think he can do that.
Yeah.
I think he's typecast the right guy for that.
Especially when his looks aren't damaged.
Yeah, exactly. So now they have to go to Mulcaelan then, but. Didn't Ramsay his father, Roose Bolton, tell him to gather some men and go to Mulcaelan?
Yes, and where did he go?
So he went absolutely nowhere because they're still in Dreadfort.
No, he was
is he? Oh, that's right, where is he?
He must have gone to Mulcaelan. No, where is he?
Maybe he was talking to himself.
Maybe he went to Winterfell.
Maybe he was talking to... Gather some men and go to...
Yeah, that's really weird actually.
Where did he go?
He sent Locke to the wall and...
He must have been at his summer cottage or something.
Enjoying his new fat bride.
It should have been Roose Bolton at Dreadfort. And Theon and the bastard should have already gone down to the neck by now.
Yes. That's weird actually.
It doesn't make any... It does less and less sense really.
Yeah, and it is really the elements from the show. The Locke going to the wall and... this weird Iron Island expedition that doesn't really work.
Yeah. So let's skip ahead.
Let's skip ahead.
Yes, what happened?
To the trial.
Yes, the trial.
Yeah, we'd covered everything else, right?
I think we're at well, we didn't talk about the small council.
Oh, the small council. Let's talk about that.
Mace actually speaks with something like a voice that sounds like he knows almost what he's talking about.
That was weird, but he sounded a little drunk.
Or maybe he was drunk. Maybe that's how he gets his courage. But
Yeah.
before he just looked like a fool, but now he's like. From this episode, I felt like he was more like an average Joe rather than really a blub little fish. No, I don't know what's going on, but
He is one of the 7 lords, so he should
yeah,
be able to behave at least.
yeah. So he was speaking up like, "No, I'm Lord of Ships. You can't be Lord of Ships because that's me."
Yeah.
But then Tywin tells him to go and fetch ink and quill.
Yes.
And why does he tell him? Why doesn't he tell Lord Varys or Pycelle, who would be happy to do it?
Why don't they have ink and quill at the council meet?
Yeah, that is maybe this. So maybe this scene was just for us viewers to be shown that Mace is just obeying every whim of Tywin. Then.
Yes, probably.
Because otherwise it would be like Tywin trying to prove a point, and that wouldn't really make any sense for Tywin to try and prove a point.
No.
So it was for us then, rather than for the small council then.
I sort of felt like I was Oberyn at this council meeting, that like the new guy, and you see everything through his eyes.
Oh yeah, and everybody else stands up and Tywin comes in. And
Is he a viewpoint character in the books?
I don't know if I want to talk about that.
Okay. Don't talk about it.
Yeah, if I don't know, I'm not going to talk about it.
So, okay.
But you can ask.
Yes.
But anyway, so after the council, and in the council they talk about the Hound. He's somewhere in the Riverlands and is killing random soldiers.
Yes.
And they say they have 10 silver stags as a reward for him. And they said, "Oh, let's make it 100 stags."
Yeah, it's still pretty small, isn't it?
Well, it depends on if 100 stags. I don't know if they have the silver. It's supposed to be 7 silver stags is 1 silver moon, and 30 silver moon is 1 golden dragon.
Yeah.
If that's the case, then 100 silver stags is like 100 silver stags is what 15 moons. 15 moons. That's half a golden dragon, so that's like $8,000.
Yeah.
So the reward was
I wouldn't go after the Hound for $8,000.
No, because it was 10 silver stags, $800, and then it's like raise it to 100 silver stags. So $8,000. It's not very impressive.
No.
Or if it's the other way around, maybe they have skipped the silver moons. So then maybe it's 3 golden dragons. Then 100 silver stags. There might be 30 silver stags to a golden dragon. So then 100 silver stags is 3 golden dragon, 3 and 1/3 golden dragon. So then that would be like $56,000 or something.
Yeah.
Now we're talking money. Now, but still, compared to the $680 million that the Hound won at the joust in season 1, it's nothing.
So you get $56,000 for hunting down the Hound.
Yeah.
I still would stay away from him.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Me too. But if you're starving,
Yes.
there's a lot of people starving in the Riverlands.
Then you probably can't take out the Hound anyway.
No, that's right. You need to be well fed to take out the Hound.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. And they also talked about they're talking about Dany and her dragons and the Unsullied.
Yeah, what was the decision there? We need to do something.
Yeah, it's like Jorah is supposed to spy for us. They're like, well, not anymore. We haven't heard from him in a while. I mean, he started off as a spy. That's how he got there in the first place. That's how he started serving her and her brother. Somewhere along the line, he stopped sending reports. But he's not a spy then, or is he just deep undercover, or?
I think he just gave up on the spying thing.
I think he's on her side, really.
Yes.
I really have to think so. I would be really surprised if he suddenly will go.
Though maybe if he feels rejected, he might go back to spying.
Oh, if he's like, Barristan has taken over my role or something.
Yeah, because he obviously has some nasty traits.
Okay, so then we'll be like King Tommen.
King Tommen.
Or maybe not. Yeah.
Maybe not.
I think he seems like just too loyal a guy to. to backstab her even then.
Yeah.
But maybe she can do something really horrible. Let's see.
We shall see.
Yeah. If she can crucify 163 people. Let's see what she can do next.
So what about after the council meeting? We have Varys and Oberyn in the throne room.
Yeah, and Varys is like, no, I don't have time for relations. I only have time for the throne. And we're just like, is it the Game of Thrones that means then, or is it just, does he want to sit on the throne?
But he's the only one who doesn't want to sit on the throne, right?
Yeah, so I think he's talking about the Game of Thrones rather than sitting on the throne. He, like, unlike, for example, Littlefinger, he wants to stand behind the king and whisper in the king's ear.
Yes.
Where Littlefinger wants to sit on the throne. And so I think, Varys is one of the very few people who doesn't actually want to sit on the throne himself.
Yeah.
So he must have meant the Game of Thrones. That's what he must have meant.
Yeah, I was sort of thinking about that scene in the first season when he actually says that he's there for the realm, and it seems very genuine.
Yeah, exactly. Very genuine. But he's very genuine.
Very trustworthy.
Very trustworthy. But then we get to the trial.
Yes.
The trial. What a lovely trial. Yes. And it starts with the king recusing himself, of course, on Tywin's suggestion, because the hand Tywin wants to do the proceedings himself, supported by Mace Tyrell and Oberyn. Mace Tyrell and Oberyn Martell.
Yes.
And
I felt that Tommen felt like he had grown a bit. At least he was able to speak.
He was able to speak, yes.
to the audience.
And not insult anybody like his brother would have done. Or
I almost expected him to make some kind of gesture towards Tyrion, as he obviously liked Tyrion a lot earlier.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, really. Go back to like the first season. He really liked him back then.
Yes.
But he was a small child back then, much smaller, and not even the same actor.
Different child back then.
Yes, different child actor. But at the very start, Tywin asks. This is kind of important. He asks Tyrion if Tyrion is prepared to confess, and not only like, did you do it, but also he asks, or did your wife Sansa do it? Because in Westeros, a man and wife is like one. So you're responsible for your actions of your spouse. So if they come to the conclusion that Sansa did it, he's guilty, just as if he had done it himself.
Oh, that's incriminating.
Yes, so that's why he had to ask, and that's why he had to answer them. No, I didn't do it, and no, my wife didn't do it either, or something.
As far as I know.
As far as I know, yeah. Which is kind of weak, but
yes.
Well, that's what he said anyway. And then we have this list of witnesses that's presenting a horrible case, really.
Yes.
And even if Tyrion was allowed to answer or like ask questions, like counter questions, he would still be hard pressed.
Yes.
When Meryn Trant tells him how he was threatened to be killed, and Pycelle talks about Tyrion stealing his drugs, and Cersei. I think was it Cersei who started talking about how he said that he would take away her, he would like crush her when she least expected it.
Yes.
Who
stole Pycelle's poisons?
We don't really know. We haven't been shown who stole his potions.
Or are they stolen at all? We don't know that.
He threw Pycelle in the dungeon, and then he could do it himself, or he could have his henchmen do it. He probably didn't grab all that stuff himself. He probably had henchmen doing it in that case.
Probably Littlefinger stole them.
Littlefinger has a finger in everything, so
yes. That
probably makes more sense than anything else.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's going bad for him. That the whole trial, it's stacked against him, really.
Definitely.
Yes. So I think that then we have the scene where Jaime and
wait, before we go to that, I'd like to talk about Varys' statement.
Oh, Varys' statement also. That's in the first part of the trial also.
Yes. And his very cryptic response to Tyrion's question.
Mm-hmm. No, that's right. Tyrion says that I saved the whole city, and you said that you would never forget. And then Varys says, I never forget anything.
Yeah. So what does that mean? Will he still honor?
He just stabbed him in the back, and then he says, "I will never forget." So yeah, so it's I agree, it's cryptic.
It's really strange.
So is he gonna pay him back later then? I mean, or what?
And we know that Varys is a guy who actually repays people.
Oh yeah.
Looking at that sorcerer that he has locked in that box.
Yeah, like 30 years later or something.
Yes, so he seems to never forget things.
Yeah, he has a long memory, absolutely. But
I almost get the feeling that he had a plan to save Tyrion.
Okay. Well, it's not gonna work as it is that way.
No.
Right now it's working badly.
Yes.
Anyway, but also but on the other hand, you have to remember this. He says this in, I think it's episode 2 in this season, where Tyrion says, "Please lie for me and tell about Shay and so on." And he's like, "Oh, I don't have a powerful brother like you. I don't have a powerful army or a powerful family behind myself. I have to look after myself also.
Yeah, that's
I have to look after for number one." And he says it even better in the books. He says, "I have to buy my life every day with the information that he provides."
Yes.
And if he starts providing faulty information, he's not worth anything.
True.
Because his only worth is his information.
Yeah.
So, and in this case, if he doesn't do what Tyrion wants him to do, he's out.
Yeah.
Then he's probably dead even. So, yeah, but it's sad. It's pretty sad to see, because you felt that Varys was his friend.
Yes.
But now he stabs him in the back, and then he says something about, so maybe he'll repay him later then, or something. Maybe he'll visit him at the wall, if he gets that far.
Maybe.
We don't know. But then so you're ready to talk then about the deal, yeah. Because
he actually seems to have one friend left.
Yeah, his brother at least.
Yes.
And his brother's like, "Okay, Dad, if you spare him, I will follow your orders." And his dad's like, "Done."
Yeah, that was my favorite line the whole show so far, I think. Done!
Done! Like, snap!
Yeah, got you!
Gotcha! And it's like, wait a minute! Wait a minute! How long have you been seeing this coming? How long have you been setting this up? Because, I agree, that was really good. It was like, snap. It was like,
so that might have been like the whole point of letting Tyrion be blamed like this.
Yes.
So go Tyrion.
Yeah, go. That's a pretty cool plan, though. I mean,
yes.
He's evil, but he's pretty cool evil.
Yeah.
And Jaime's like, shit. It's like, well, what can I do?
Yeah.
So.
But Tyrion still needs to plead for mercy.
He needs to plead for mercy, yes, and
he's not really doing that
because of that surprise witness that they've suddenly bring in.
Yeah.
Talk about surprise witness and the way she witnessed them, Shay.
Yes.
Who we felt was really loyal to him, and like even more. I mean, he eventually tells her that, "Oh, you're just a whore, go away," but she can't really believe that. She's too smart to believe that. She knows that the only reason he really sent her off was because he loved her, and that he really cares for her. But I expected him to be more like, "I understand we do this, Shay, because you're going to be killed if you don't do it."
Yeah.
But he was more angry with her because she was doing it. But
he was under a lot of pressure.
Yeah, but another question that comes up is, how did she get there?
Yeah.
If someone found, did she even leave by the ship? Bronn said that she got on the ship in the episode 2.
Yes.
Is he lying, or is it more like Varys was then able to follow her across the sea? I mean, Varys.
He was pretty involved.
Yeah, he's pretty involved, so maybe he then paid the captain to keep her somewhere.
Yeah.
And then bring her forward at a later time, or we don't know, or maybe she went all the way across the sea, and then Varys found her there and brought her back.
She was only going to Bravos, right?
I thought she was going to Pentos. But
maybe she was. Where's Pentos?
Pentos is there and Bravos is there.
Oh, that's really close.
Yeah, it's pretty close. By sea, it's so much faster than going by horse.
Yeah.
Back then, so it's not that far. Close enough that she could have gone and then come back. It took quite a few weeks from the death.
I sort of was wondering if Tyrion knew, because it seems like his agenda should have been, let's close this trial as soon as possible, because now he had his deal with Jaime.
Yeah.
And then suddenly
And then they brought Shay forward.
Yeah, he doesn't look very interested.
Yeah, and well, I guess he probably knew about Shay and he wants to close the deal, but but because he's most important, he doesn't really care what's happened to Tyrion.
No.
If he dies or goes to the wall. But for him, it's really important to have Jaime follow his word and start making little babies over in Castle Rock.
Yes.
To carry the family name. So, but then you have this really, he's almost going berserk, but with words. Tyrion is, and just barks out insults at everybody in the whole court.
Yeah, it was a strong performance.
Yeah, it's really good.
Jesus.
I love that stuff. It's,
yeah.
Yeah, it's like, oh, this is the episode you're gonna nominate for an Emmy, or, but maybe we'll see. But yeah, so I really like that, and you like that too. But the problem then for Tyrion is that it's gonna be hard for him to plead for mercy after saying that. I wish I killed him. I wish I could kill you all.
Bad thing to say at a murder trial.
Yeah, exactly. It's not very tactical.
I didn't commit this crime, but I wish I did.
Yeah, but he figures he's dead either way.
Yeah.
Jaime says, no, I can save you, but believe me, but Tyrion has had enough of it, so he figures there's another way. He figures he only has one way out now.
Yeah, and what's the plan there?
And what is the way out?
Trial by combat.
Yes, he's done it before.
It worked before.
Yes, so then the whole question is, trial by combat? Is it going to happen? Well, I think they have to allow it.
Is that a way out of any trial?
I think it's not taxation, but I
and then you have to go to the Dreadfort.
Exactly. No, I think that it's pretty much, at least if you're noble, you can ask for trial by combat. I think that's it worked in the Vale, and why would they allow it if they could avoid it? Really?
Yeah.
So I think they have to grant him.
Who will do the combating? Because Jaime, who was the first choice in the earlier trial by combat, he doesn't have a hand.
And if Jaime is going to fight, he's been practicing though with his left hand.
Yes.
We don't know how far along he is really. But if he's going to fight, on what side is he going to fight? On his brother's side, or on the side of the king? He's the Lord Commander of the Kingsguard.
Oh, so he could fight on the king's side and throw the match.
Or he could fight on his brother's side and, well...
I suppose it works like last time, so that Tyrion will have to name his champion first.
Yeah.
So Tyrion has first pick.
Oh, so Tyrion has first pick. Okay, so then if he picks Jaime, they can pick Jaime for the other side. But I'm not sure if he can pick someone from the Kingsguard if it's the trial for the Reggie side.
And that sounds like a problem.
Yeah. So we really know who's gonna, and they have to volunteer also. You can't just pick somebody and force them to do it.
True.
So yeah, but if he picks his brother, his brother has to go along with it also. Of course, he seems to be loyal to his brother, but.
And who would fight for the king? There are plenty of people to.
Yeah. So I mean, usually it will be the Kingsguard, but I don't think they have to go with the Kingsguard. You could go outside the Kingsguard also.
They haven't got any particular good fighters in the Kingsguard except Jaime at this point.
Well, Jaime is legendary.
Yeah.
And then you have Meryn Trant, which at least according to the Hound sucks.
Yes.
And then you have Boris Blount, which is worse. And then you have Preston Greenfield, supposedly. At least they had him in episode 2.
Yes.
Because they said Preston
should be dead.
Yeah, he died in book 2, but he's alive in season 4. Good for him.
Yes.
But they only mentioned him in episode 2, and then they have other people also, but we don't really know. In the books, they at least list those people and they mention them.
Yeah.
But on TV, they keep it the same, like Meryn Trant, Boris Blount, Meryn Trant, Boris Blount,
yes,
and Jaime. Those are the only people we see really out of those 7.
What if they pick Loras? That would be a problem.
Oh, Loras, he's a member. Is he a member of? No, he's not a member of the Kingsguard.
He's not a member of the Kingsguard.
Oh yeah, he was threatened by, but he's not. Oh, you mean if
for the king, like?
Yeah.
Just because he's probably the best fighter in the house.
He's probably better than the guys I just mentioned at least.
Yes.
Maybe even as good as Jaime before he lost his hand. And
yeah, didn't he beat Jaime at some point?
I don't think he beat. Well, he finished. He kind of won the joust in season 1, but then the mountain started trying to kill him, and then the Hound saved him from being killed. So then he gave all the money to the Hound.
Yes.
But he did win that joust, and he finished second in the melee at the beginning of season 2, where Brienne won.
Yes.
So he has first place and second place. So he's pretty good at both melee and jousting.
Yes.
So he's very good. So that so
Oberyn is pretty strong, I understand as well.
yeah, he's supposed to be really good also. Oh, who's gonna? So he's gonna fight for?
Good question. But why would he fight for Tyrion?
Yeah, so he's gonna fight for the king then, or
Why would he do that?
Why would he fight for the king? Why would he fight for anybody?
Okay, that's why he will.
Well, he was a mercenary at one point.
Yeah,
maybe
so
if they pay him enough.
Yeah.
Pay him in if not money, other things.
Yes.
That he seems to never get enough of.
Yeah, I love his sort of whole attitude, his sort of body language.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care.
Yeah, it's like there's not enough time for all the sex I want to have in my whole life.
Yeah, when he was at the council meeting, it was like.
I stayed up late last night. No, oh, you did? Yes, and I bet he got up early that morning as well.
Yes.
So yeah, he's lots of good characters. I would say still in this, even though they keep killing people off, but they introduce new people to kill off.
Quite a cliffhanger this time.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I want to see that fight.
No.
No matter who's between, even if it's really lopsided, I still want to see the fight.
Anything else we should discuss today?
It felt, this episode really felt like there was no Stark person.
Oh, Sansa was mentioned.
Sansa was mentioned. Yeah, but there was lots and lots of Lannisters.
Yes.
And then they played the Reigns of Castamere at the end there also. So it's like, it started off as a Stark show, but now it becomes more like a Lannister show.
Very much so.
Yeah, and I don't mind because the Lannisters are much more fun to watch than the Starks.
Yeah, the Starks just keep dying and being
like,
miserable.
Yeah, or being really honorable and dying because of it.
Yeah, or being really cold.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm looking forward to more scene from the Eyrie.
Yeah, that's one crazy person.
Yes.
That woman up there, and that's one cool little finger.
Yeah. Well, that's it for today then.
Yeah.
Let us know what you think about the show and what you want to see more of and less of, and my very nice thing I'm wearing here.
Stop it.
Thank you for watching.
Thank you.